Agriculture is constantly in the crossroads of politics, of economics, of everything around the world. And for so many years in this valley, we've sat on the sidelines as we've watched politics and watched regulatory happen all around us. As we've seen so many family farming operations have to close. So many of them have to sell off because we're being out-taxed, out-regulated, not being able to grow in this economy today. And for the Ag Center, it's something we truly care about. And for when there's someone that comes to the scene and wants to be a voice for agriculture, a voice for this valley and a voice for this area, not just the farm owners, but the farm workers and everyone, the Ag Center wants to give someone like that the opportunity for the audience to understand them. As the Ag Center doesn't fully necessarily put a support behind someone, we want those people to have a stage for everyone to be able to listen and for the communities to understand who is running for these offices, because it's become so important for our economics, for our rural communities, and the whole world around us that we live in and thrive in every single day. And that's why today on The Toast, we have a very special guest, Mr. Michael Maher. Did I say your last name right?
You can Maher my name or Mar my name, but it's pronounced Michael Maher.
Michael Maher.
Yeah.
There we go. That's why on your business card, right? You gave me the marble because it's close, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It gets everyone going. Well, hey, thank you for coming on the show, driving up here from Kingsbury. I know we're a little bit out of the way, but right on that northern end of where you're kind of running for Congress this year, right? California District 21?
California District 21.
Or 21st.
21st, 21, it's all fun.
Exactly. Hey, well, I don't know if everyone on the podcast has actually heard of you yet, and so we want to make sure that everyone really understands at least the baseline, who you are, and we're going to dive deeper throughout it today. But, on a 30,000-foot view, I've seen your website. We've had conversations before. I mean, your resume is incredible. It's super cool. I feel like I'm sitting next to 007. Hopefully there's a movie made tonight, and we're going to go do some crazy action. But let everyone else know who you are and, just some of those big accomplishments. We'll dive deeper as we get into those.
Yeah, so I think the first thing is my background, who I am. I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father. I'm a guy from the Valley. But I'm also a military veteran, a business owner here in the Valley, former FBI special agent. Went to some of the fancy schools. I went to Oxford University, road crew for their top boat there at the college, Harvard Kennedy School. A senior executive fellow, traveled the world, worked all over the world. But my heart is here, my vision is here, and it's always been back to how do we grow the Valley, not just in ag, but for the people, for business. I'm married into a multi-generational farming family. I'm a business guy, but I understand ag, some of the challenges that we have here. Training, my background in academic training is I did nuclear power production, so I actually operated a nuclear power plant. Very, very significant experience on counterproliferation, which is chemical weapons, biological.
Too big of a word for me to know what that is. All right,
a bunch of different things. So it's been a whole year, 40 plus years of just experience, and now finds me running for office.
Did you get started in the nuclear sector then in the military? Did you go to them right out of high school or pretty early in your life?
I did. So I was graduated from Tulare Union High School. So a couple years before Devin Nunes, who used to be our congressman down in, actually he started in the 21st District just as I'm starting. And that was right when September 11th happened. So November 16th, 2001, I enlisted in the Navy. And then ultimately went through that pipeline, got picked up from active service and deployment to the Naval Academy, and was injured pretty extensively on a deployment, got medically retired, and kind of went on to the private sector and a lot of other things since then.
What did you do in the Navy then? What was your job over there?
So I was a mechanical nuke on a fast attack submarine.
Okay.
And the submarine that we were on, we did a bunch of things that I can't share. And I think the world is seeing right now how critical everything that is undersea communication cables, undersea warfare, what was going on in China seas, Russia subs, Chinese subs. But the nuclear power operating the energy, the power plant, and life support systems is something that was a great foundation to start off on.
And so from there, you went into college. You say you went to the Naval Academy then?
So graduated, yeah, the U.S. Naval Academy prep school. Went to the Naval Academy, left the Naval Academy because I got medically retired. Was here at Fresno Pacific for a semester. Went to Oxford University in England. Spent a lot of time out there. Was appealing the whole process of trying to get back in the military. I was not happy that I was medically retired. I wanted to prove that I could rehabilitate and get back into it. Was able to start learning. I learned to walk again, got off the cane, and really got back to fighting and passing a lot to get back in the military.
You said you were able to walk again and on cane. So then your injury in the military, then were you not able to for a while?
I got injured pretty extensively when I was attached to a submarine. Fractured bones, messed up back, and had temporary paralysis. I lost a lot of feeling in my legs.
Wow.
I did rehab here at the Fresno VA hospital and out at Burroughs Neurological Institute in Phoenix, in Arizona.
Wow. And so from then it just started that warrior spirit. You wanted back in the military. You wanted to keep fighting for the country. When did you enlist then? So I think I heard something that it was just right after 9/11 that really was a big calling for you to go into the military.
Absolutely. So both of my parents served.
Okay.
Their parents served. And so we have a lineage of multiple generations of military service on both sides. Both my parents served. And so when it happened, it wasn't almost something I had thought about. Our country got attacked. Mm-hmm. So what do? We stand up and defend our country. And it's kind of even gets to now. We're under attack. We got to go out and serve. So I went November 16th, 2001, enlisted in the Navy. And from that, I had a great, amazing time, amazing relationships, amazing training. And it was just the experiences of serving in uniform and then deploying are things that are staying with me and will stay with me for the rest of my life.
Hey, if you want to see some jugs, go over to theagcenter.com. Click on shop and look at all of our line of fertilizer products from Penny Newman, from the Ag Center, and many more. Irrigation parts, PPE, whatever you need to keep farming this year is at theagcenter.com. Add it to your shopping cart, check out fully online, see it at your ranch soon. We'll help you keep farming this year. Theagcenter.com. Are you able to spend some time? I know now you're really busy with the campaign, but I'm sure you like to give back to that VA hospital, like to give back to all the troops around here. What do you do with helping troops around the Central Valley? Is there some involvement you have and some of the listeners can maybe get involved with too?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm a life member for the Disabled American Veterans, Veterans of Foreign Wars, a member, American Legion. There's so many great veteran groups to be a part of. There's just here in the Central Valley, we have a Central Valley Veterans Group. What we have nationally and here in the Valley, there's a major mental health crisis. And so veteran suicide, everyone talks about 21. And so I'm running for District 21. There is that correlation that I constantly see in my head of who are we representing? California has more veterans than any state in the entire United States. We have more veterans and the greatest population right here in the Central Valley. And there's only 2 out of the 52 congressmen that represent this state. There's only 2 Republican congressmen that have ever served in uniform. And there's not one member of Congress that has ever served in uniform here in the Central Valley. And so for me, rehabbing, doing vocational rehabilitation right here through Fresno VA, and knowing so many other guys that have served and given so much. And it's not just the members that have served; it's the families, it's the wives, it's the husbands of these service members, and even more so for our generation. And if you even look back to my parents' generation in the Vietnam, the Hmong community that served alongside with the special guerrilla units of the generation before us that are here in the Central Valley, we have the Afghan population that has served, and we quickly withdrew. That group that has served, we're trying to bring those veterans and those guys who serve with us back to the Valley. And so those are 2 things that I'm really focused on, is those who served with us wearing another uniform, but furthering the mission of the United States. And then the veterans that are here and being able to see what is the next step, and are they able to find a community that's going to be able to support them.
Yeah, I think the Valley is a great community for them. There's actually a lot of organizations. I was actually on a panel for this at American Farm Bureau, and it was there's a massive mental health problem in agriculture as well. Farming is actually one of the highest suicide rates in all occupations. It's got a lot of those similar types of things that we see within military as well. And there's a lot of great organizations out there that are actually putting, service and veterans on farming operations, because it actually is found to be a really great option for helping with PTSD, with mental health, for them to get back and cultivate and work on the farm and work with people. It's a great community where they can come in where maybe they didn't after the military go to college, but it's that vocational training, just like you were saying, right? Every farmer is looking for a great worker that supports exactly what we believe in America, in the Valley, in the fertile ground and everything, and being able to place those veterans back into farming organizations. I think there's so many farmers that are willing to look at those people and say, hey, I want to give that guy a shot. I can train him up, and it's someone. So I think that's a really neat thing, maybe for your campaign or for so many other things, that we can really place those people in great communities around here that just continue to let them, farm, serve in different ways. We're feeding the world. They're defending it at one point. Now they get the opportunity to feed it.
And there's actually a lot of the guys that have come back and gotten involved in agriculture, in trades, because really working with your hands and being able to see what you've done and accomplished. I got back after I left the military. I got involved in construction. I built water treatment plants and wastewater plants and packing facilities. We did digesters at some of the dairies. Being able to actually see you are contributing, you are building something is huge. And sadly, the stress that our farmers are put under, it reminds me too, in India, the cotton farmers, it's like one of the highest suicide rates in the entire farming industry. The same thing here. We see generational farm families that are moving and transitioning into other industries and business because of frankly, government and bureaucratic rules, not because of challenges of the reality of farming and getting out and doing the work. It's not people who say, I don't want to work anymore. It's not we can't grow anymore. It is bureaucracy, which is politics, that has prevented the growth and the sustainability of farming here in the Valley. And those are some of the things that I would like to see addressed. We cannot give up on farming here in the Central Valley. It is a national security issue. And I, over anyone else, can say that because I am a national security professional with my time in the FBI. I don't know if I talked about that, but I was a special agent with the FBI doing national security. I received the highest award for the U.S. intelligence community for my work in the service. And food, public safety, and security, these are major issues that are at the heart and the bedrock of what it is a society and a community. And if we don't address that and we don't protect those things, we're not going to have a society. We're not going to have a nation. And it's critical that we actually talk about it and address it. And this is heavy stuff to talk about, but it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's simple to solve. We have real farmers here in the Valley who want to farm.
Yeah.
But they don't have water. Why? There's plenty of water available that we can push down to the Central Valley. Mm-hmm. And I can go on about water. I can go on about crop genetics. I can go on about threats facing Central Valley farming.
Well, I think you've already seen it, right? I mean, I believe it was Sarah Huckabee Sanders in Arkansas.
Yeah.
She passed some legislation for Chinese-owned farmland to, I don't know the exact legalities of it, but it has to be essentially sold, from my understanding in that whole situation. And it's a massive national security problem because when you just look at the economy, right, it's one of the leading pillars of the economy nationally and in this district and in the state of California. But something really in Congress that this whole federal legislation has not really taken is focusing on ag trade. They haven't. I mean, yes, this last year was a decent trade year when we look globally, but who is our biggest partner in that trade? It's China. Yeah. And we have not diversified those trade markets. There's a lot of opportunity in sub-Saharan Africa that we can go after. There's a lot of opportunity to move these crops and these healthy, nutritious things that we grow here in the valley into new markets. And, there hasn't been the legislation put in place to try to make those and catapult those situations forward.
And that's where we need to be increasing. Everyone talks about we need to, reduce and recognize that the contraction of this industry. No, we actually need to be increasing. I don't care. Everyone talks about white area here in the Central Valley. Mm-hmm. If Israel can take a desert and turn it into a fertile farmland and start exporting water, and I know from my background doing nuclear power, we can make water. With nuclear power production, we can do energy and reduce costs of our electrical bills. We can do desalination and provide plenty of water. And the water that is here, and frankly, let's start funding actually true waste treatment so we're not having to worry about diluting the effluent, leaving our wastewater plants out into the delta. You start doing the basics of proper management of our infrastructure and really bring the technology that we know is out there globally to our valley, we can have these areas farmed and then export them. And it's not food insecurity. It is quality food that is not being provided. And there's no reason why we can't expand to greater markets, but there's no reason why our almond prices are depressed the way that they are. If every single school lunch had a little packet of almonds and pistachios or some dry fruits,
yep.
Guess what? The kids actually eat that. They will take that. And why is it not in every single school lunch program across the United States where you're getting almonds and pistachios and some dried fruit that are grown right here? There's no excuse for that.
It's probably a consumer-led thing too, right? We see it on TikTok with almond moms.
Yes.
I want to be an almond mom one day, just having my kids eat healthy all day and eat almonds and pistachios. But I just feel like we haven't had the legislation and the negotiations to put those pieces in place. We saw it in the dairy industry, right? Getting milk inside schools, and it was a massive help to the dairy industry years ago.
But it's not a help to the dairy industry. It's a help to the kids. Exactly. It's a help to the learning. Kids need to have those things. Milk, the proteins, these are good fats for the development of healthy children, healthy education, learning. And there's the push on paleo. There's no reason why we don't have our schools full of milk, our schools full of the things that are grown right here in this valley and this country. And not just that, exporting it. Look at the raisin industry here in the valley. We're a huge market, and we do bring in huge volumes. But when we're bringing in, and we have the legislation, the restrictions that we have, we do farming here in the Central Valley better than anywhere else. We produce Louis Vuitton, and the rest of the world produces, I got to be careful. I don't want to badmouth any other brand, but we're Louis Vuitton. Yep. We are Gucci. We are high end. We do it at a higher labor cost. We do it on less water.
Yeah.
We do it better and higher food safety standards. Our OSHA regulations, everything that California has, the restrictions that are a barrier for business, we still succeed in farming. And if we're able to do that and still compete at a market rate against everyone else, we should be growing more and expanding more and exporting more. And we do this without DDT. We do this out with all of these chemicals that are dangerous for consumers and for our kids. Why are we importing stuff from other countries that are grown with those things that are banned here in the United States?
Well, I think it starts a lot with the whole legislation topic, because there's pretty limited laws about dumping. So you can go across the border and grow 75% cheaper than us here, but you can dump into our markets. Avocados, X, Y, and Z, it can get dumped into our markets, into our grocery stores, hurting the local farmers around here that are growing the exact same commodities. There's no control on that. We're not putting California farmers, American farmers first right now.
And Mexico is importing more avocados than they even have acres to grow, because sadly, it's coming in from Guatemala. It's coming from other South American countries that is going into the Mexico market, and then from Mexico into the United States. And no one's really doing anything about it. No one's talking about it. But we have right here in our valley serious issues at the kitchen table. Families are changing their diets who are on fixed incomes because they can't afford food. When we grow food right here, A lot. I don't know. My kids are in public school. That's something that's different. The guy I'm running against, there's no family, no kids. These are things that you just don't understand unless you have you grew up in it or you have a family. And some of the stuff is they don't want to eat, and it just gets unpacked and thrown straight in the trash can.
100%.
But kids do eat trail mix. Kids do eat and drink milk or chocolate milk. Fine, add some chocolate to it. Those are things that are good and healthy, and we should be exporting that, not just for our own kids, but exporting that globally. You start doing that, and you start doing proper support of the industry. I was talking to a guy earlier today on just the pink bollworm, which is the pink moth that is affecting almonds, and that's an issue. Then the citrus, all of these basically parasites that are harming our ag need to be able to be dealt with. When it costs more money to go out and shake your trees and then go grind them up and crush them because the prices are so reduced, we're not exterminating serious issues. And so there should be support from the federal government on doing that, just like we do with the California airport. When we go out and we say, you can't burn it anymore, so we're going to give you a credit for shipping and spreading. We need to be doing these for protecting the safety of all ag. And so there's a lot that can be done, and there's a lot that hasn't been done.
Yeah, I think we've seen that across the board. It's just back to the same message, right? We're just out-regulated. I mean, 100%. We need to release a lot of regulation and let farmers farm. And we know a lot of the practices we use, it takes years, right? We have our own labels on products and things like that. It takes us so much time to get something approved that we know is safe. There's something just like it already on the market. It's an exact twin maybe. And it's like, oh, now we're going to wait 6 months for an approval from a government agency to try to put this in market at a competitive price to lower input costs. We fight it every single day in our position, and it's just become progressively harder and harder. But I think with the right people in place, we can really start to see some change. And so I think with you too, you talk a lot on the education piece as well. I mean, you've seen the numbers in Fresno. I know you have some people close to you that have been really involved with Fresno's education system as well. And just past Fresno, right? You have Reedley, you have Exeter, you have Dinuba, all these places where the education system maybe seems like it's failing, not just on a food front, but on an educational front. Parents want their kids to go to a good school and have those options.
Yeah, and so this isn't a people issue. This isn't a teacher. We have amazing teachers who are wanting to educate. We have farmers who want to farm. We have business owners who want to do business. We have a bureaucracy that is preventing them from doing what their profession is and what they're trying to accomplish. And who ends up losing? The people here lose, and our kids are losing. There are schools in Fresno, $2 billion annual budget in education.
Wow.
That not one student in the school can read at grade level. And who are we failing? We're failing our next generation. We're failing the future leaders. We are failing the people that are here. And it's not everyone has to toughen up a little bit. I'm not trying to attack anyone. This is just the reality. And now how do we focus on fixing these things? Most of the things, everything I talk about, it's not partisan. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. Everyone screwed this thing up. Now let's fix it. Now let's actually deal with these issues. And after we deal with them, I'll go back to business. But for right now, it's not being taken care of. And it's time for a new generation, a new vision to get involved and actually fix this.
What do you think you can do in Congress that can really help the educational system around here locally?
Talk about it. If you see something, say something. Just the fact that somebody shows up and starts talking about it, start changing it. It's as a business guy, I look at a lot of things through business and leadership and fiscal management. If you start addressing an issue, it's not going to be. It's all of a sudden people are paying attention. They're going to go do that. You got employees who are out. If there's no leadership, there's no supervision. Guess what? What anyone would do. They're going to spend time on social media. They're going to talk and yam it up. If all of a sudden a manager shows up and says, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm not going to scold them. That's just part of life. Mm-hmm. If you're there and you're focusing and talking about those things, all of a sudden it starts fixing and self-healing. There's also some that need to be changed. There's some people that are toxic leaders that need to be removed. There's some people who are in elected positions that aren't representing their people. They're mismanaging. And so with that, I'm not in the position of, major disruption and divisive politics. And there's so many things that I can hit. And I get constantly this information or other people sending me information or pictures of I'm not going to go out and drop all this information out there, because what are we trying to accomplish? I'm not trying to defeat an opponent or just get a seat in Congress. I'm trying to actually deliver real solutions and change for our valley. And that's just start talking about it and start saying, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm paying attention. And people respond to that. And if it's not, then we'll go in and take the next step.
Hey, this is just a quick break in the podcast, but if you're spending Valentine's Day at World Ag Expo on February 14th at booth U54, the Centered Marketing Group will have their stage for a live edition of the Toast podcast at the Ag Center booth. Make sure to stop by at U54 on February 14th. We'll see you there. Yeah. How do you feel on the options of like school choice? That sometimes there's just not a great school in your area, that you somehow got a line drawn around you, right? I'm out of your district, right? I'm in Clovis, so there's, million schools. I have one the same distance either direction. I don't know which one my kids will go to. Luckily, that's a discussion for a few years down the road. But what's your opinion for those parents who maybe just don't love the school in their small town and want to move them to the town next over?
I love the idea of school choice, because as a discussion of equity and inclusion, diversity, these are buzzwords that bring a lot of emotion with them. Why don't we just allow school choice? Why don't we just say the money's going to follow the student? If you want to go to St. Anthony's, great. If you want to go to Memorial, great. The money should follow them. If you want to go to Emmanuel, you want to go to Fresno Christian, you want to go, then those areas will grow. And do you know what's going to happen? It's going to make the public administrators say, we need to make sure that we're doing things and we're attracting people. We have magnet schools. There's a lot. My kids have private school background. My youngest doesn't, but they're both in public schools. And there's great public schools. I love the school that my kids are at. Our principal's fantastic. The teachers are fantastic. The parents are engaged. And that's what I'm asking for, is just parents start getting engaged. And let's start giving parents the ability to choose the future for their kids. And with that, that's healthy competition. And I don't see our kids being taken care of right now in the current model.
Yeah, my wife's a teacher, so and my actual degree is in education. I should have went and taught, but I couldn't bring myself to go in the classroom and deal with today's hardships in reality. It just wasn't for me. And so, I want the parents to be more involved too, though, with these students, that they're involved with the teacher. They're being able to take that curriculum home and really understand it as well with their kid and understand what the kids are learning. I'm sure that's an important piece for you as well.
Oh, it's huge for me. Especially for my kids, because I'm involved with them when they get home. I am checking on their homework. I am having conversations with them, what they're doing in sports, and then other educational activities that I continue to keep them involved with. And there's so many, and there's so many great teachers. It is not a teacher issue. This isn't the issue that I think a lot of people want to see on social media. The reality is everyone wants to do, farmers want to farm, teachers want to teach, people want to just go do what is life. And unfortunately, bureaucracy and politics has completely hijacked everything from public education to farming to business, the regulatory hurdles. It takes somebody to stand up and say, enough, let's scale this back, let's start supporting, let's start finding real solutions. And not everyone needs to do it. It doesn't mean I become the king and I just start fixing everything. Mm-hmm. Once there's vision and people can all buy into it, people all start getting involved in doing things. They start changing. They start sitting up straight. They start doing what needs to be done, and you have a community that grows out of that. And I'm excited. I'm super excited about the future of our valley. I'm excited for the future of the state. I know there's a lot of doom and gloom. I really think the future for our valley, the future for the state, is at a level exponential to what most people even think is possible.
100%. There's everything right here.
Everything is here.
We do have great schools, We do have, a great college just right in our back door. I'd like to say that we have a great football team, but we looked pretty hard last 4 games of the season. But, we've got the dogs right here. We've got everyone in this valley. Plenty of businesses to spur the next generation of growth, and for these next, visionaries, these next leaders to take over these farming operations, take over these businesses, and let this whole valley continue to grow. It's growing. I mean, just down the street here, they're going to put another 5,000 homes.
Yeah.
And we got to make sure that people can fulfill those homes at an average price of $430,000, right? So they need to have a good job.
They need to have good jobs, and that's the thing is, the Central Valley has been at a there's a mindset that I got to leave to go do something. I got to get out of the valley. No. And that's a failure of our elected. That's a failure of our leaders. They don't have a vision for and recognize how exceptional the valley is. I tell people, California, right here at Fresno is the 5th largest city in the state. It is the 33rd largest city in the nation. We are bigger. Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs. She gets the title now. She gets her jersey. We're bigger than Kansas City. Atlanta, we are bigger than Atlanta. They have professional sports teams. They have major universities. They have heads of federal agencies. We don't have any of that here. That is a failure of our elected, of our leaders, of the state to not advocate for that. We are sub-agencies of all of these from Sacramento. That is unacceptable. We are the 33rd largest city in the entire United States of America, and we are not represented. And there is no one standing up and talking about this. No one is talking about the underrepresentation of the veteran community. No one is talking about the underrepresentation of where every industry should be represented by the federal government. The peanuts, the breadcrumbs that are being brought back. I see my opponent celebrating pennies that are being brought back to the district. We are getting majorly taken advantage of, and we need somebody to stand up and say, I'm going to fight for you. And I bring and step out of my business experience to do that, because it's not just me. It is the future for my kids. It's my kids being able to take over their grandpa's ranches and continue to farm here in the valley. It is the future for everyone here. And if somebody doesn't stand up and do it, I don't even want to think what it looks like, and I don't have to worry about that because I'm running.
So you talk a lot about family. I guess we might have missed that. Did you, with your wife, or did you meet her pre-military, post-military? When did you meet her and kind of come back into Kingsburg? Are you guys high school sweethearts? What's the situation
No,
there?
I met her. She's a little bit younger than me. I'm in my 40s. She's still in her 30s.
Cradle robber.
Yeah. I met her actually through a real estate agent. We were both looking at buying a piece of property. We were buying a house. And I saw her and I thought, wow. I didn't even get her name. I told my brother that night, I said, I just met the girl I'm going to marry. Didn't know her name. And she went and left and told her girlfriends, I met this guy. I'm in love. I'm going to marry him. Independent. And so it was our real estate agent that ended up connecting us in Kingsburg. And she said, hey, Michael, would you mind if I give that girl your number? Oh, yeah. I tried to play it all off cool. Met her for Starbucks over a coffee. I didn't tell her, all right, we're going to get married before I even knew her name. And yeah, when I knew, and we got married. And a year after that, we had our first baby. And then we're almost 15 years later.
Wow. Does she work inside the businesses with you then?
She works, in our family business. And she's actually a professional triathlete. She won Ironman Indian Wells. She's 70.3 Ironman triathlete. Incredible.
So she is
swam.
in shape.
She swam at Memorial, played water polo at Memorial, graduated from Manual. Brilliant. Raising our boys. That was the hard thing when I was in the FBI. So I did national security work, and some of the work I did, we ended up having to live apart So she was a mom raising our kids in the valley and not even able to talk about what her husband did. And that was a hard thing. It's different when you're in a military spouse and you're like, oh, my husband's serving. Everyone wants to get it. Who is your husband? That's a hard thing. I wouldn't be running for office if it wasn't for my wife and the support of her family and my family. Yeah, she's absolutely incredible woman. So I know it's asked how we met, but I can't stop talking about. I mean, she's just amazing woman.
Yeah, I mean, to get in this position and put your family behind, running for politics is a harsh game.
Yeah,
and so a woman that'll stand beside you, a family that believes in what you're doing, is amazing to see, right here.
No, I'm very thankful for it. I'm thankful my kids are so involved. They love it. They love going to Veterans Day. We just did the Veterans Day parade right in downtown Fresno. My son's there. My boys, it's a family thing. This is a family affair of getting together because this isn't a Republican Democrat thing. This is the future of our valley. This is a family that wants the same thing that everyone else wants. And it's exciting. I'm so excited the support and everything that's coming out. And I don't want to beat down on Jim Costa. You served. Thank you. But it's time for a new generation. It's time for new leadership.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that younger generation really try to spring up right now in politics. I mean, you see it on the presidential stage. You see it in a lot of races all across. This younger generation is really hungry to try to make a difference. The 65-year-old to 78-year-old and sitting in political office today just doesn't feel like they represent maybe the younger generation.
Yeah.
And the struggles that we're going through every single day.
And we don't have to say, we don't have to disparage it. We don't have to. There's plenty of ammo, but there's something that needs to be demonstrated. Are you going to demonstrate leadership in how you run your campaign? Are you going to demonstrate your leadership in how you run your business? Or are you going to take cheap shots? Yeah, you can win that way. That's not the guy I am. And that's not the man I want to demonstrate for my boys. That's not who I want to demonstrate for business or even the people that support the other side. This is when you win and you're a representative in the United States Congress, you represent everyone, whether you disagree or agree with them. And I've met so many people on this campaign trail that say, if you don't believe and do this and this and support this guy, I don't know if I can. And I said, what's your name, sir? Joe. Joe, I'm sorry. You might as well find out a new candidate because I am not going to give you a greater commitment than what my wife requires of me. My wife and I disagree on favorite colors, on TV shows, on what's our favorite drink, and what our meals are. So she doesn't make me pledge all of these things that you're asking me to pledge to you just to get your vote. Here's who I am, here's what I've done, and I want to fight for our valley for these specific reasons. And if you want to support that, get on board. If not, then I hope you find the guy that you're looking for. But I'm not going to be that guy who's going to do that for you. And at that, they typically sit back and say, okay, well, that's great. People aren't going to agree with everything I do. But I think the general population, I think, frankly, the vast majority are going to say, I like what Michael Maher's talking about. I like what his vision is for the valley. And I think that I can trust that he's going to move forward. And we saw that in the really short race that I had in 22. Right before the election, I jumped in. And I had a lot of guys say, I completely disagree with you on this issue, Mike, but I trust you that you're going to actually do what you say. And I said, oh, I appreciate that. And I got your vote. And that's why we had the most bipartisan support of any congressional race in the entire Central Valley. And we are going to win the seat come 24.
Well, when we look at it, I know last time we talked and you said, you want to be a man of your word. And, a lot of the constituents that come back to yourself in that area, you tend to see a lot of migrant workers, a lot of Hispanic farm workers. And when we look at really the big things on the stage right now are inflation, are just everything around them is so expensive. I just read a report that came out yesterday that did the last 2 years for farm workers since the overtime laws have came into effect in agriculture. And there is a loss of $6 to $9 million per week on take-home pay for farm workers because their hours have been cut. And so in actual reality, they're really making less money today with these higher wages, and it's hurting families all around us. I mean, inflation is it's come back down, but at the end of the day, inflation's coming down, but it's also, the consumer price index and different things like that of how do the sentiment, right? How do they actually feel when they go to the grocery store, when they're trying to feed their families? What do you think you can really provide all of these different constituents inside the valley?
Yeah, so like I said, my wife's family's been involved in farming for a long time. They do labor contracting and farm management and farming themselves. And I've talked to a lot of different labor contractors. I've talked to a lot of the farm workers and asked exactly what are some of the issues the stress that is on the farm workers is a lot of people don't really understand it. For them, their families, they're concerned for their status that they are here. And there's a lot that are here fully in proper documented status working for farming outfits through labor contractors. But the reality is they want to work. And when they're limited now per hour to work, and I don't want to go hit and say, the horrible state legislator who did these horrible things, they're out of touch. And they thought that they were trying to help an industry where they wanted to give them higher wages. They just don't understand because they don't have the experience of business to realize all they did is hurt the community that they're trying to protect and support. And so I want to see our workers continue to have the ability to work. They want to work. They want to have those opportunities for not just them, for the next generation that's coming along. And they also have the largest farming growth, the largest farm ownership is of Latino. The Latino and Hispanic farmers and ranchers are the fastest growing farming outfit. And so the challenge that we have here in the Valley is a lot of them have moved forward with government or USDA-backed loans starting out in farming. Some of them are tied to prime rates. Mm-hmm. And what has happened with that? Even SBA, these 7A loans that people are getting, their rates have gone up. If they did this a few years back, they can't afford to even stroke the note, make the payments on these notes. And so I talked with a builder who does building for these communities. USDA is not even approving the loans right now. They're so backed up. This is a problem in the bureaucracy that the communities that they want to support, they talk about supporting, are actually being harmed at a far greater rate than anyone else. And no one is addressing this. And I can't address it. I can talk about it, but not until I'm elected am I going to be able to start showing up and really pushing these issues. We need farm workers to farm. It's a partnership between farming. There's plenty of people who want to farm. Unfortunately, there's a whole element that is coming in that is taking advantage of our farm workers criminally. Cartels that are here, drug violence, gang violence. I know a crew boss that was murdered out in the fields. There's serious things that are happening that aren't covered in the media. And we have to be able to recognize this and start showing real solutions or just start talking about it. And that will fix a lot of these issues.
I think we've talked a lot about, really what you believe in for the future of the Valley. But now for those people that want to understand and look at you on a personal level. You said that you rode crew in college.
Yeah.
I just watched on Tuesday nights, my wife and I's secret date night on Tuesdays is $5 movies, So we went and saw The Boys Who Boat or something.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking? All right, I'll probably have the name completely wrong. I loved it. I think I'm going to go try to get on the rower, at least at the gym. I don't know if I'm going to get in the water. But what makes you tick? So are you still rowing today? Are you traveling a lot, doing other things? What's kind of the hobbies for you?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at buying an erg machine myself and get back into rowing. I like people and I like fixing things. That's as I look back, what makes me tick. I see problems, I like to fix them. And I'll tell you, as a husband, don't try to fix your wife. That's the wrong thing. Sometimes you just want to say, honey, I love you and I'm listening. Not let me fix that issue for you. But that's kind of how I'm wired. I don't like people being taken advantage of. I will butt in on things. I remember 15, 20 years ago right at Fashion Fair, or not Fashion Fair, over in River Park, a guy yelling at his girlfriend, or I don't know who it was, a girl, and he started pushing her. It just rubbed me the wrong way, so I got to go say something to him. And make sure. I don't like people being taken advantage of. I don't like seeing problems that have easy solutions. And I like people. I like having a good time. And, there's so many people. And frankly, that's what's going on right now. In politics, everyone, you're just messing up our fun, man. I want to be able to live life and spend time with my kids. And let's go to the lake, play some golf, live. And there's people who are just messing it up for all of us. And so let's go fix it. And team sports, you mentioned crew. I love crew. I rode crew for the first year at Queen's College at Oxford University. And we had one of the captains was the GB, Great Britain rower, I think gold medalist. When I was in the FBI, one of my other classmates was he's the U.S. Olympic gold medalist, still current world record holder of fastest race. I think it was in 04 Olympics. There's so many amazing people that I've been able to glean from sailing, from sports, from rowing crew, from farming, construction, that have really imparted their experience onto me and make me passionate to want to protect that way of life.
So since you're running for more of a federal position and representing really our, the 21st district, but the whole United States, right? The impact that you'll make. I think we've got to ask you a few questions just to test how American you really are.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, to kick it off, what is America's football team?
America's football team.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as in Washington, D.C., or, I mean, I can't,
we're catching them up. It's going to be a Vivek situation.
This is good.
The Dallas Cowboys, even though most of the people in the Valley are Raiders fans.
Well, really, I don't know.
Or 49ers.
Yes. Well, I say here, really, it's L.A. Rams, you have Chargers, or the Niners. It's going to be who I would be answering here. It's not Washington Redskins anymore, is it?
No, it'd be the Dallas Cowboys. That's what they say is America's
really?
Team. Yeah, that's why they fixed the last game.
Oh, my goodness. So we're watching, both my boys are doing college pick'ems, and my youngest actually is leading it. So we'll see with the National Football Championship who ends up going with Washington or Michigan. But
you'll have to come to our office. I think we're going to have, you've been in there. We've got that 160-inch TV wall. I think we're going to watch the Natty on Monday in there. So I can't wait for it. I'm a big college football guy.
Yeah, there's a couple, though, that are they during the Eagles Cowboys game, it was just don't like the Cowboys.
Yep.
But I love their stadium, and I enjoy athletes putting it all out in the field. And so I know I should be more stuck to a specific team or dislike other teams, but I just love watching the brawl.
Yeah, choosing a team now is just too much commitment.
Yeah.
I can only commit that much to my wife. I can't, anything else is just too far gone.
Yeah. We got my youngest is a big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Okay, so they love Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said. I'm like, Jude, I know why you like this. It is Taylor Swift. It's not Kelsey. It's not he loves Mahomes. Actually, he got for one of his Christmas presents he asked for was a Patrick Mahomes card, and he got his card for Christmas. So he is as a youngster, he knows his team and he can throw a lot. But my oldest, he's I'm trying to get him to the Naval Academy. So just stay focused on Navy football.
So, there you go, and then go serve. So you want your kids to serve as well, then?
I do. The Naval Academy, West Point, Air Force Academy, these service academies, where else do you have top level education? You're getting paid while you're going to school. And then when you graduate, you go work in the company that every single one of your classmates works at. I mean, the camaraderie, the brotherhood of 4 years of free college to a 5-year job where you get decent money and that experience, you can go walk into anything. And as for me, I don't have to pay for college. So I told them,
it's a win-win.
I'll buy you a car if you graduate the Naval, any service academy. I'm preference, obviously, to Annapolis and the Naval Academy, but if they want to go West Point or Air Force. Both my parents are Air Force, so yeah.
Whoever they go, you just want them to be in that type of situation.
I think it's a great situation, but also being able to leave and then do college. There's a benefit to both, and you do miss out on college experience in life. And college is more than everyone says. It's the same books. It's the community that you're a part of. There is a camaraderie, an alumni network that you like. Fresno State, I love Fresno State. My wife's, Fresno State season ticket holders. I don't know, since grandpa, love it. The alumni network, the camaraderie that you have around associate. When I was in the bureau, one of my instructors, my shooting instructors, was a Fresno State grad, and I'm like, we're in Quantico, Virginia, and all of a sudden I find out, yeah, he's a Fresno State guy. It is an amazing group here in the Valley, and there's so much. It's really, what do you want to do with your future, and it's undergrad to grad school. But for me, hey, Service Academy, it's paid for, and you get a job guaranteed when you graduate.
There you go. So the next one would be, hot topic. What is American food?
Ooh, that's a good one. So it's funny because as an American, and then when I was in England for school, you roll like American. You do American food to the Brits is going to be hot dogs and fairground food that they think. But American food for me, actually is Mexican food. I really think you have hot dogs. It depends on where you are in the region. But here, home food for me, my home is really. I explained it. I want horchata. I want pho. I mean, this is the crazy thing. Why Central Valley and Fresno Market, everything is tested here.
Yeah.
Because we're so diverse.
The melting pot.
And so a banh mi sandwich. I want fried chicken. I love fried chicken. Being able to sit that, and you can actually think about that. If you had a good fried chicken, you had a banh mi, it balances it out. You had horchata, right? That flavor. There is so many complementary food items here in the Central Valley that bring it all together. It's absolutely incredible. So American food for now it's not just the hot dogs and hamburgers and pizza and French fries. There's real cuisine here. That's the other one that I really like. There's a gas station, La Lomita, out in off the 180 in Sanger.
Okay.
And it's a gas station. Probably incredible Indian food. So you can get Punjab chicken, you can get butter chicken, good naan, garlic naan, and it rivals a 4-star restaurant.
Oh yeah, there's one in the gas station off of now we're just gonna look like we're promoting diabetes at this point, but there's a gas station in Visalia. It's on the very north end of town. It's the Love Station.
Oh yeah,
and they've got a great Indian spot inside there.
Yeah,
as well. That's the gas stations are actually a hidden spot for Indian food.
Huge, and you get chai. There's a couple gas stations that you just get. There's free chai. You can get free tea at a lot of these gas station truck stops. It doesn't. You just see. Well, now everyone's gonna be stopping off and getting a free tea. That's American food for me. That's the great thing about America is we can all come together and say we believe in the founding principles of this nation. Everyone is equal. Everyone should have the ability to live free. Everyone should have the right to free speech. Everyone should be able to bear arms. These values are not rooted in race, religion, gender, creed. These are really founded in what is America, the Constitution, this Declaration of Independence from tyranny. And sadly, what do we see now is a government that is almost tyrannical over its own people. And that's the exciting thing for really this valley. I love it. We are so diverse. And my background, Asian Pacific Islander, I'm Portuguese, have got Irish in me. I'm American.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. We're getting divided in so many ways. We're American. All of this is American food.
Wow, that's actually a really good answer. The perspective I wouldn't have came from. But
What's the right answer? I guess
I have no idea. I don't think there is a right answer. I mean, me being an overweight and out of shape white guy who's like fighting a heart attack every 3 hours. I don't know, chili dog or something. But yeah, but I do love the Mexican food. You got one of the best spots closer to your neck of the woods. I love Sal's Mexican in Selma.
Yeah. Yep.
Best chili verde in town, and there is a taste difference between the one in Selma and the one in Fresno.
There is.
Yep.
Oh, there is.
I've heard it's because the equipment they have in Selma is like older and more seasoned or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that is the absolute favorite spot in the valley to go grab Mexican food. There's also some good taco trucks as well. We used to do taco reviews every like Tuesday. And so up at the Ag Center in Merced every Tuesday, we have Taco Tuesday. Free tacos for whoever comes by. So if you're listening to this podcast and it's Tuesday, stop at the Ag Center on the 59 freeway.
Oh, I'll come by and do some grading on that. I can eat with the best of them. So
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. But now your wife, she's the Iron Man, so she's going to keep you in shape.
I need to. I got to get back to it. It's funny. I like taco trucks so much. When I was, one of my buddies actually from high school talked about this, we went to go to a taco truck really late at night. We were hanging out, finished some time at a dairy, found a taco truck, and the taco truck said we can't serve anything because it was down. I jump started the taco truck with my car just so he could stay and get tacos. But I'm a connoisseur when it comes to that. From Bucha de Lengua to Cabeza de Carne Asada, the whatever. But my wife she's helping me. I need help because I will just eat.
Yeah. I didn't get this big just, looking at the food or eating salads.
It's a dad bod. I mean, that's.
I don't know if mine's a dad bod or past that at this point. My doctor might tell you different.
Yeah.
She says, Sam, you're already 68 on your metabolic age, but, no, it's, I don't know, probably 42. Yeah. But knock on wood.
I don't go to the doctor, so I don't even have to.
Exactly. If you don't go, you don't know. Don't ask, don't tell, right?
Exactly.
But, being healthy is, we've really been in around the office. What is it? Is it Gary Brecka? Have you ever seen him?
No.
Oh, he's big in like the saunas and the ice baths.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yes.
And, he does the whole like genetic test of like what your body absorbs well. I've been into that as well and trying to do the ice baths. I'm just a big wimp. I don't do cold. That's why I live in the valley. I want to bake at 107 and not be in the snow.
Oh, I just got back from DC with the family and I was in New England for a while up in Rhode Island at the Naval War College and in prep school and as I've gotten older, I love it here. That's the thing is California is amazing. I don't want to leave this state. I don't think people don't want to move away.
Yeah.
This is a valley worth fighting for. And I don't want to be, I'll take an ice bath where it's needed in a studio, but I'm not going to be moving out to somewhere where I'm having to take ice baths.
I don't even own a jacket. Like I don't want to have to buy one.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in this valley, so but I grew up down in the desert, and it was hot down there, and there's no place I'd rather be than right here in the Central Valley, and baking at 106 in the summertime, and maybe wearing a short sleeve or a long sleeve in the winter, and put a vest on and call it a day. With these lights on, it's like I just sweat through everything. The first time I did a podcast in here, I was sweating so bad from the lights. I'm a big boy, so the water just flows.
Yeah.
But hey, well, I appreciate you coming in today. Thanks for doing the drive up. I hope some of the audience and the listeners can see who you are, why you want to represent the 21st District and all these constituents inside California. And we wish you the best of luck here and, continue to be a voice for agriculture, continue to be a voice for the students and the education system here and everyone in between in the Central Valley. So a toast to you, and thank you so much for coming in today, man.
Cheers. Yeah, thank you.
And I see things mighty plain and say